Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds judicial reforms, says that Atmanirbhar Abhiyan will play a big role in modernization of judicial system. Prime Minister to visit West Bengal and Assam tomorrow. Several development projects to be launched. Over 56 lakh frontline health workers administered COVID-19 vaccines so far. Akashvani Sangeet Sammelan to be known as Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi Sangeet Sammelan. And in cricket, England were 555 for 8 in their first innings against India at stumps on day 2 of Chennai Test. England skipper Joe Root scores a double century in his 100th Test. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the Indian judiciary has fulfilled its responsibility as the life force of the Constitution. Addressing the Diamond Jubilee function of the Gujarat High Court through video conference today, he said, judiciary has always strengthened the Constitution by creatively and positively interpreting it.
आज हर देशवासी पूरे संतोष से ये कह सकता है कि हमारी जुडिशरी ने, न्यायपालिका ने संविधान की प्राणवायु की सुरक्षा का अपना दायित्व पूरी दृढ़ता से निभाया है। हमारी जुडिशरी ने हमेशा संविधान की रचनात्मक और सकारात्मक व्याख्या करके खुद संविधान को भी मजबूत किया है। देशवासियों के अधिकारों की रक्षा हो, निजी स्वतंत्रता का प्रश्न हो, ऐसी परिस्थितियां रही हो जब देश हित को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देनी हो, जुडिशरी ने अपने इन दायित्वों को समझा भी है और निभाया भी है।
Lauding the judicial reforms, Mr. Modi said, the judiciary has always performed its duty, be it safeguarding the rights of the people of the country or in any situation where the national interest needed to be prioritized. He said this notion of rule of law has been the basis of our civilization and social fabric. It has been the basis of good governance. Mr. Modi emphasized that it is the responsibility of both the executive and judiciary to establish a world-class judicial system that provides a guarantee of timely justice to the person at the lowest rung of the society. The Prime Minister praised the dedication of the judiciary during the difficult time of the pandemic.
भारत के लोकतंत्र ने, हमारी न्यायपालिका ने कठिन से कठिन समय में भी भारतीय नागरिकों के न्याय के अधिकार को सुरक्षित रखा है। कोरोना वैश्विक महामारी के समय हमें इसका उत्तम उदाहरण फिर एक बार देखने को मिला है। इस आपदा में अगर एक और देश ने अपना सामर्थ्य दिखाया, तो दूसरी ओर हमारी न्यायपालिका ने भी अपने समर्पण और कर्तव्य निष्ठा का उदाहरण पेश किया है। गुजरात हाईकोर्ट ने जिस तरह लॉकडाउन के शुरुआती दिनों में ही वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस से सुनवाई करना शुरू कर दिया।
The Prime Minister lauded the Supreme Court for hearing the most number of cases through video conferencing in the world. He said high courts and district courts also carried out a large number of e-proceedings during COVID. The Prime Minister said that Atmanirbhar Abhiyan will play a big role in the efforts of the judicial modernization. He said Atmanirbhar Abhiyan encourages the video conferencing platform, which helps in delivering the speedy justice.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान के तहत भारत के अपने वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग प्लेटफॉर्म को भी प्रोत्साहित किया जा रहा है। देश में डिजिटल डिवाइड को कम करने के लिए, सामान्य लोगों की मदद के लिए हाई कोर्ट्स और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स में ई सेवा केंद्र भी खोले जा रहे हैं। हम सभी ने देखा है कि महामारी के इस कठिन समय में ऑनलाइन ई लोक अदालत भी एक न्यू नॉर्मल बन गई है। आज ई लोक अदालत समयबद्ध और सुविधापूर्ण न्याय का एक बड़ा माध्यम बन रही है। देश के 24 राज्यों में अब तक लाखों मुकदमे ई लोक अदालतों के में आ चुके हैं और उनका निपटारा भी हो रहा है.
Speaking on the occasion, Union Minister for Law and Justice Ravi Shankar Prasad said that the Gujarat High Court has always set high standards in the Indian judiciary.
66,85,000 केसेस की डिजिटल सुनवाई देश भर में हुई. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 52,000 सुनवाई की, हाई कोर्ट ने 20,06,000 सुनवाई की और सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट्स ने 45.73 लाख केसेस की सुनवाई की. मैं गुजरात हाई कोर्ट का और मुख्य न्यायाधीश श्री विक्रमनाथ जी का अभिनंदन करना चाहूंगा. गुजरात हाई कोर्ट ने 1,21,000 केसेस की डिजिटल सुनवाई की इस कोरोना काल में.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit West Bengal and Assam tomorrow to launch several development projects. The Prime Minister will dedicate to the nation and lay the foundation stone of key infrastructure projects in the oil and gas and road sector at Haldia of Purva Medinipur district in West Bengal. More from our correspondent.
On his second visit to the state of West Bengal within 3 weeks, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate to the nation projects worth ₹4,700 crores at Haldia. He will lay the foundation stone of the second catalytic dewaxing unit at the Haldia refinery of Indian Oil Corporation Limited. He will also inaugurate 3 more projects. Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, BPCL's LPG import terminal, GAIL's Dobi Durgapur natural gas pipeline and NHAI's 4-lane ROB cum flyover at Rani Chowk. A road over bridge cum flyover built at Rani Chowk by NHAI with ₹190 crores for seamless traffic movement in Haldia Port Gate will also be inaugurated. Madhuparna Dhar Chaudhary, AIR News, Kolkata.
Prime Minister Modi will lay the foundation stone of various development projects at Dhekiajuli in Sonitpur district in Assam tomorrow. The Prime Minister will launch Assam Mala aimed at helping improve state highways and major district roads network in the state. The program is unique for its emphasis on effective maintenance through continuous field data collection and its linkage with the road asset management system. Assam Mala will provide quality interlinkage roads between the national highways and the rural roads network as well as facilitate seamless multimodal transportation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman assured that the centre would extend all the necessary help for welfare of the tea garden workers in Assam. The minister said that for welfare of the tea garden people, 1,000 crore rupees have been announced in the budget for Assam and West Bengal. Attending the Assam government's Cha Bagicha Dhan Puraskar event in Guwahati, Ms. Sitharaman said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very much concerned for the welfare of the tea tribe. She said that the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PM Gram Sadak Yojana and Ayushman Bharat schemes improved the life of the tea workers. Appreciating the Assam tea brand, Ms. Sitharaman said that the government is committed to improve the condition of the tea workers. She further said use of digital technology has also helped the tea workers in getting their financial assistance, omitting the middlemen. Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal said that Assam government and the centre took various measures for the benefit of tea workers. Union Minister of State for Culture and Tourism Prahlad Singh Patel has said that the Union budget aims to create larger infrastructure in the country which will assist in the growth of the tourism sector. He was talking to the media persons at Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh today. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Union Minister said that budget is a step in right direction towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. He said that Union budget proposes to build infrastructure around iconic sites which will lead to development of tourism sector.
क्योंकि मैं संस्कृति और पर्यटन मंत्री हूं, तो बजट मेरे विभाग के बजट के बारे में जरूर कहूंगा. 2 बातें. एक, मुझे ये कहना है कि हमारे पर्यटन मंत्रालय में कुल 2 ही स्कीम थी, स्वदेश दर्शन और प्रसाद. आइकनिक साइट की स्कीम इस बार पर्यटन मंत्रालय को मिली है. ये बड़ी सफलता पर्यटन मंत्रालय की है.
Speaking about the initiatives of Ministry of Culture and Tourism, he said that painting exhibition centered on historic Tripuri session presided over by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose will be organized on the occasion of Netaji's 125th birth anniversary in the month of March this year. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Uttar Pradesh government is investing a lot in the infrastructure development of the state, and highways and expressways are a major part of it. The state is going to benefit a lot from the union budget, in which the highest ever allocation was made to the road transport sector. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
to provide the better road connectivity to the general public and also for the industries. Uttar Pradesh government has invested heavily in the mega expressway projects. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called the state as Express State because of the many expressways on which work is going on. Every part of the state is being connected through the expressways, highways and airports. Union budget has provided an enhanced outlay of rupees 1.18 lakh crores for the highways sector. Talking to AIR, senior business journalist Viren Singh Rawat said that this enhanced budgetary allocation for the highway sector will help in faster implementation of many development projects in Uttar Pradesh.
यूपी जो है इस समय देश में सबसे ज्यादा एक्सप्रेसवे विकसित करने वाला प्रदेश बन गया है। 2-3 एक्सप्रेसवे पहले से चालू हो चुके हैं और 3-4 एक्सप्रेसवे और भी प्रस्तावित है जिनका काम अभी बहुत तेजी से चल रहा है। साथ में जो बंदर का इंलैंड वाटरवे का जो वाराणसी से वेस्ट बंगाल तक का इंलैंड वाटरवे है वो उसका भी काम तेजी से चल रहा है। बहुत सारे एयरपोर्ट्स बन रहे हैं।
Apart from providing connectivity to the public and to the industries, particularly to the defense corridor, which is being established in a state, these infrastructure development projects will also generate job opportunities for migrant workers who return from other states in large numbers during the COVID pandemic. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The Union government has said that a total of 56,36,868 frontline health workers were vaccinated for COVID-19 till 6 p.m. today. Briefing media in New Delhi, Additional Secretary in the Health Ministry, Dr. Manohar Agnani said 52,66,175 healthcare workers have been vaccinated till now. He informed that 3,70,693 frontline workers have been vaccinated till now. The vaccination of frontline workers was started on the 2nd of this month. The Additional Secretary said today 2,20,019 beneficiaries were vaccinated all over the country. He said there is no case of serious or severe adverse event following immunization or AEFI of death attributable to vaccination till date. Dr. Agnani said no new case of hospitalization or death is reported in past 24 hours.
If we see the deaths reported so far, the total deaths reported till date are 22, which comes to 0.0004% of the total vaccinations. And out of these 22 deaths, hospital deaths are 9 and outside hospital deaths are 13. And no new death have reported in past 24 hours. And none of these deaths have so far been causally linked with COVID-19 vaccination.
Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan today reviewed the status and progress of COVID vaccination with Health Secretaries and National Health Mission MDs of states and UTs through video conference. One of the largest such exercise globally, the countrywide COVID-19 vaccination program was launched on 16th of last month by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Health Secretary appreciated the credit-worthy performance of all states and UTs on COVID-19 vaccination. Elaborating on the global landmarks crossed by India, he emphasized that India is the fastest country to reach the 5 million mark in COVID-19 vaccination in just 21 days. Several other countries which have had a head start have taken a longer time to reach this target, with some as much as 60 days. Meanwhile, the country's COVID-19 recovery rate reached 97.19%, with a total recovery of more than 14,488 patients within the past 24 hours. The ministry said more than 1.5 lakh patients have already recovered from this disease. Active cases of COVID-19 are on a continuous declining trajectory in the country. The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Suryakant, Professor and Head, Department of Respiratory Medicine, King George Medical University, Lucknow, and Brand Ambassador COVID Vaccination, National Health Mission UP, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards.
Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, has announced that All India Radio's National Music Conference, Akashvani Sangeet Sammelan, will now be known as Pandit Bhim Sen Joshi Music Conference. He was speaking at the inaugural function of musical program Abhivadan in Pune today. The program has been organized to mark the occasion of Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhim Sen Joshi's birth centenary celebrations in Pune today. Mr. Javadekar said that Pandit Bhim Sen Joshi's musical presence on All India Radio and television needs to be redesigned to reach out to the world through social media. He further said the steps have been taken in this direction. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio.
Now here is a review of proceedings in Parliament this week. And the writer is V. Mohan Rao. Both the Houses of Parliament witnessed noisy scenes and repeated adjournments this week, with the opposition insisting on the repeal of the 3 farm laws despite the government's assurance that it is willing to discuss the issue both inside and outside the Parliament. Only a few questions and some matters of public importance were taken up in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha in the morning and evening shifts functioned in a view of the COVID-19 pandemic. The presiding officers of both the houses had a tough time in the conduct of the proceedings during the first week of the budget session. The government's stand was repeatedly conveyed by Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and several BJP leaders. Opposition members from Congress, DMK and Trinamool Congress and others repeatedly trooped into the well of the House, raising slogans demanding the repeal of the laws. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi accused the opposition parties of backtracking on agreement that the government had reached with them to break the deadlock. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla urged the members to return to their seats and follow the COVID-19 protocol. He suggested that the members can raise the issues during the discussion on the motion of thanks on the President's address. Both the opposition members, however, refused to relent, forcing the Speaker to adjourn the House. In the Rajya Sabha, opposition disrupted the proceedings of the House over the issue of farmers. Members belonging to Congress, Trinamool Congress, RJD, DMK and left parties forced repeated adjournments of the House. Leader of the opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad, said the farmers have been camping at Delhi's borders for more than 2 months and the issue needs to be discussed. He said that farmers' unions have been staging protests since late November demanding the repeal of the 3 farm laws. On Wednesday, the Rajya Sabha took up discussion on the motion of thanks on the President's address. On the demand made by the members of various parties, the House earlier decided to increase the time for the debate on the motion of thanks by 5 hours to 15 hours. Initiating the debate, Bhuvneshwar Kalita of BJP asserted that the new farm laws were passed after extensive deliberations in the Parliament. The opposition members moved as many as 118 amendments to the motion of thanks. Leader of Opposition and Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad asked the government to withdraw the 3 farm laws without making it a prestige issue. He said disrespect to the national flag cannot be tolerated. He condemned the violence at the Red Fort on the Republic Day during the farmers' tractor rally. He suggested that the Prime Minister should himself make the announcement on the repeal of the laws. Mr. Azad also made a case for the restoration of the statehood to Jammu and Kashmir and holding assembly elections there. On Thursday, the Rajya Sabha resumed discussion on the motion of thanks on the presidential address. While opposition members demanded the repeal of the farm laws, the BJP defended the new laws, saying it is committed to increasing the income of farmers. Participating in the discussion, Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said the government is committed to the welfare of the farmers and will help increase their income. He said the government will provide 1 lakh crore rupees additional income to the farmers that will be generated by converting waste into energy. Mr. Pradhan attacked the Congress for not bringing a law on minimum support price or MSP of crops, despite being in power for long. He said yet the opposition party is questioning the government on the issue. According to Mr. Pradhan, MSP payment made to paddy growers under the Modi government has increased to 1.72 lakh crore rupees this year from 63,000 crore rupees during the previous regime in 2013-14. Defending the 3 new farm laws in the Rajya Sabha, Jyotiraditya Scindia of the BJP said the government has taken a host of steps in the last 6 years to increase their income. He questioned the opposition for changing their stance on the agricultural market reforms. He said the NDA government has been successful in handling the COVID-19 pandemic and also turning the crisis into an opportunity. Former Prime Minister and JDS leader H.D. Devegowda called farmers the backbone of the country and said miscreants and anti-social elements were behind the events of Republic Day, and all political parties have condemned their actions and agree that they need to be punished. Proceedings in the Lok Sabha were a virtual washout on Friday as relentless protests by opposition members against the 3 farm laws continued. The House was adjourned first till 6 p.m. and then for the day after opposition members disrupted the proceedings, demanding repeal of the 3 farm laws. They also shouted slogans by trooping into the well of the House. As soon as the House convened at 4 p.m., members belonging to Congress, left parties and the DMK rushed to the well, raising slogans against the new laws and displayed placards. Speaker Om Birla, however, continued with the question hour, with Health Minister Harshvardhan responding to supplementaries on COVID-19 vaccination. As opposition members continued to raise slogans, Mr. Birla appealed to them to participate in the question hour, saying that an important issue related to vaccination was being discussed. Around 4:15 p.m., Mr. Birla adjourned the House till 6 p.m. with no let-up in the protests. When the House reconvened in the evening, the Speaker adjourned its proceedings till Monday after his plea to the opposition members to go back to their seats went unheeded. When the House met again at 6 p.m., the opposition continued to disrupt the proceedings. Speaker Om Birla adjourned the House till Monday.
The 3-day debate on the motion of thanks on the President's address in the Rajya Sabha came to an end on Friday, with the government strongly defending the farm laws. The government said its offer to amend them should not be viewed as if there were flaws. As many as 50 speakers from 25 political parties participated in the debate in the Rajya Sabha on the motion of thanks, 18 from BJP, 5 from Congress and 27 from other opposition parties. The Agriculture Minister said the laws give farmers alternatives to sell their produce outside mandis, and unlike the state government notified marketplaces, such sale would not attract any tax. He said the agitation should have been against the tax levied by the state government on the sale made in mandis. But strangely, the protests are against freeing of the system from such taxes. The minister said while the central law on contract farming frees the farmers from paying taxes on their sale and also empowers them to exit agreement with traders, as per the provisions of Punjab contract law, a farmer could be sent to jail or held liable to pay penalty of up to 5 lakh rupees for violation of agreement. Mr. Tomar reiterated that NDA government and the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi are fully committed towards farmers. He said the government has held several rounds of talks while respecting their protest. Mr. Tomar said the government has made it clear that the APMC system will not end. He said if the government is ready to make amendments, it should not be construed that there are shortcomings in the legislations. He said, but the farmers are protesting and people in one state are victims of misinformation. He alleged that farmers have been instigated and misled that these laws would snatch their farmlands. Mr. Tomar also said the government has made efforts to double farmers' income and increase share of agriculture sector in the country's GDP. Various opposition parties like Congress, Shiv Sena, SAD, NCP, Samajwadi Party and left parties demanded that the 3 new farm laws be repealed and fresh ones brought after wider consultations. Participating in the debate, the opposition members attacked the government and alleged that government is defaming and the agitation of farmers. Sanjay Raut of Shiv Sena said the farmers who were known as warriors when they fought the Mughals and the British are now fighting for their rights on Delhi borders. Praful Patel of NCP said the centre and states have together fought the COVID-19 pandemic along the medical professionals, and the mortality rate in the country was low as compared to other countries. He said when the government is talking of working for the welfare of farmers, why did it not send the farm laws to a select committee for wider consultations to avoid the situation that has arisen now? He also clarified that former Agriculture Minister Sharad Pawar's letter of 2007 is being circulated to misrepresent the facts as no bill was brought to Parliament. Satish Chandra Mishra of BSP demanded that the government should repeal the 3 new farm laws and also provide legal guarantee of the minimum support price MSP on all crops. Sukhdev Singh Dhinsa of Shiromani Akali Dal said the Prime Minister should intervene and listen to the farmers' demands. He said the government should accept the farmers' demand to repeal the 3 laws and said all opposition parties are also demanding the same. Pratap Singh Bajwa of the Congress demanded the setting up of a committee headed by a Supreme Court judge to conduct an impartial probe within 2 months into the incidents on 26th of January that led to violence. IUML member Abdul Wahab demanded restoration of MP Lads Fund. Earlier, CPI member Binoy Viswam hit out at the government, saying the policies of the government are squarely responsible for the situation. Vinay P. Sahasrabuddhe of the BJP said the government is committed to the welfare of farmers and has taken a slew of steps in the last 6 years in that direction. Anand Sharma of the Congress demanded repeal of the 3 farm laws. He said the economic growth was sluggish before the COVID-19 affected the country, and the situation worsened after the pandemic hit the nation, especially due to lockdown, which resulted in many job losses. K.J. Alphonse of the BJP defended the 3 farm laws and said there is nothing wrong in them. He also accused the opposition of sowing the seeds of dissent and hatred against the government. Digvijay Singh of the Congress challenged the BJP for a debate on the issue of minimum support price for crops. Neeraj Shekhar of the BJP asked the protesting farmers to recognize people who boycotted the presidential address and now are participating in the debate to give speech on injustice meted out to farmers. Sasmit Patra of the BJD attacked the government for not properly implementing the Swaminathan Committee report on MSP. Subhash Chandra Bose Pilli of YSRCP raised state issues such as special status to Andhra Pradesh and approval of revised cost of estimate of the Polavaram irrigation project. Shamsher Singh Manhas of the BJP said the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir was neglected by the previous governments. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now working towards the development of Jammu and Kashmir and is ensuring funds are available for that.
And in cricket, England were 555 for the loss of 8 wickets in their first innings against India at Stumps on the second day of the first test match at M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai today. Dom Bess with 28 and Jack Leach with 6 runs were at the crease when the stumps were drawn. Earlier, the visitors resumed their first innings at the overnight score of 263 for 3. England skipper Joe Root became the first batsman in the history of the Test cricket to score a double century in his 100th Test. For India, Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravichandran Ashwin and Shahbaz Nadeem claimed 2 wickets each. Both teams have entered the contest on the back of away series wins in the longest format of the game. India have beaten Australia 2-1 to win the Border Gavaskar Trophy, while England defeated Sri Lanka 2-0. The format series gets interesting as its result will decide the second finalist of the ICC World Test Championship, who will face New Zealand at the Lords in June 2021. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds judicial reforms, says that Atmanirbhar Abhiyan will play a big role in modernization of judicial system. Prime Minister to visit West Bengal and Assam tomorrow. Several development projects to be launched. Over 56 lakh frontline health workers administered COVID-19 vaccines so far. Akashvani Sangeet Sammelan to be known as Bharat Ratna Pandit Bhimsen Joshi Sangeet Sammelan. And in cricket, England were 555 for 8 in their first innings against India at Stumps on day 2 of the Chennai Test. England skipper Joe Root scores a double century in his 100th Test. And with that we end the evening news. Good night.